Listen up, you beautiful bastards. I'm Insipid, and this is Runescape. We're playing Runescape. Well, gosh golly, that means we're going to have Deep Down Dirty record label playing their music here, and then we're also going to have a conversation about a random philosophical topic. Philosophical? It can be phrased that way, I suppose. We tend to do something close to, what? Social commentary? Political commentary? Commentary. Hey, welcome to Commentary Day. We made it. Go us. What are we talking about today? I wanted to have a little chat about words, the meaning of words, and the power of words. There is no doubt that words have power. Through their correct enunciation, there are powerful ideas, vivid and awesome, that one may convey to one another and expand the pool of collective knowledge. Gosh and golly, words are just a little bit important. They have great power for good. They have great power for life. Awesome. Love can be imbued and imparted through words. Good. Now, why would this come up as a topic then? If words are so amazing, there couldn't possibly be anything that goes wrong with words. They would never be used to hurt somebody, to speak out against a person and bring them harm. No, we would never do that. That would just be mean. And I will flatly agree. Anytime words are used intentionally and frivolously to attempt and harm another person, I believe that's referred to as trolling. And we ignore those people, because you don't feed the trolls. If the objective was to get attention, and then you give them attention, they win. Now, this is not a conversation about trolls, this is a conversation about words. So, let's go ahead and get right back to that then. There is another dimension of words I wanted to discuss. And that is that they can be, what's the word? Flexible. And they certainly can, especially in a social setting. We have usage, reusage, creative applications. To say that like something is my favorite flavor. I love saying that something is a flavor. But does it often mean that I'm actually putting my tongue on stuff? Well, gosh, I hope so. But we're not quite into that porn career yet, so we'll start off with things just being very flavorful. And being able to say that that is not the correct usage, clearly. Level up. But it is something, that requires a little bit of thought on our part. And so I wanted to try and make a small distinction between the social world of words and the scientific world of words. In the social world, we have an active and ongoing conversation about what our social constructs are, and therein we are creating new language to help us describe it effectively to each other. That is an important, vital process in terms of better understanding human nature. And I am very proud of us for doing it so boldly, so freely, and so vigorously. Good. Yes, we deserve to know ourselves better. Know thyself. Do it. There is a contention I want to put forward, though. Words are not immutable, but in the scientific community, you need to have a certain range of consistency. Something called an operational definition. When you're doing research and you use a word, you need to explain yourself as to why you're using that word that way. Now, that can be because, yes, in previous experience, the previous researchers, they used the word to mean bippity blank, and so I will also use the word to mean bippity blank so that we can have a collective understanding using the word this way. You do that long enough with enough researchers, and you start having accepted definitions scientifically. Then those accepted definitions are used for future research and to help guide it and form it. Good, great, fantastic. That sounds like it's working very, very well. But if the word used in science becomes unpopular or unacceptable, crude, crass, or perhaps offensive, the scientific community gets to go through a process to determine whether or not they're going to change the name. Now, I can give you a very easy example of this. The word retardation meant strictly a person who had restricted faculties, mentally or physically. Good! Hey, that's all that they meant. That's all it was meant there. That's all they were trying to communicate to each other. Add a couple decades, and suddenly that word has this horrific background and a completely unacceptable meaning that we associate with derisiveness. And here's where I want to go ahead and come to the power of words, because we have a visceral reaction to certain words. I'm not going to say them here because I have found that anytime I have attempted to discuss these words explicitly, they have achieved such a status that my accounts can get suspended or banned for attempting to have the conversation. That is horrifying to me in and of itself. But it is the situation that we're in at this point, and we're going to have to suffer through the fallout of that and figure out what we want to do about the ability to discuss words. Or discuss the social accommodations of words. Scientists aren't always amazing at that. Scientists want to do research. Scientists want a science. Hate has gotta hate. It is the nature of things, I suppose. And I do lament the notion that scientists might lose the power of words for research. Might lose the ability to easily and effectively conduct research for the sake of expanding our knowledge. I want to jump that straight back to the beginning. We have power in words because they give us the tools, the means and method to impart knowledge on each other. Vast wealths of knowledge, wherein we are able to better understand each other, better communicate with one another, and to share knowledge. The ability to share knowledge, to proliferate innovation, that is such a cornerstone of human success in the world. Think about assimilation along trade routes, and how that exchange of scientific knowledge in that era just really leapt us forward, and how we would have lost so much knowledge about our past if we hadn't been trading off all of those years. But moving right on in, if we deprive ourselves of that, we lose so much. And I do hope that as the conversation continues, as we continue having a dialogue as a species, that we conclude that getting to share information, to have open, unhindered conversation about the nature of words, that we will become all the more capable of handling those words with sensitivity, but also greater constitution. To wrap it up a little bit, I want to just reemphasize, words have power. And if you are using them maliciously to hurt others, you're being a mean old poopy head, please stop. Words have great power to impart love and knowledge and innovation between humans, and that is possibly our greatest strength. Finally, words have meaning. That meaning can be in flux, but for gosh and golly, please let scientists operate somewhat separate from that as much as you can, just so that they can continue focusing on research as opposed to necessarily trying to be socially correct in the conduct of the wording of the research. I don't think that's quite as important as getting the job done. There's always the possibility that we could pursue another phenomena of human innovation whereby we have scientists. We have a name for people who conduct research, who conduct science. That's cool. We don't have a name, to my knowledge, for a group of people who specifically engage in nomenclature to help scientists maintain a good dictionary. Is that the right word? A glossary of sorts. And so the absence of that communication, the absence of that group, means that there is no easy way to maintain and or update current scientific nomenclature. You have to conduct science, write up your research, submit it to articles, and then have other people start using your articles. You have to explain yourself as to why you used the words you used, and you have to create something that is worthy of continuation or response. Until all that happens, very little will move the scientific community to change nomenclature as it currently operates. And I think that, as I said before, we are heading towards a conversation that will make everyone more successful. At least I can hope, right? But that's me getting off on my tangents as I am wont to do. But what I do definitely want to do at this time is say a big old thank you to these fine people. These are the people that make these streams and videos possible. Thank you very much. I certainly can't do it without you. And with that, it's been real. It's been fun. And catch you guys on the flip side. Take care, everybody.